As this evolution has continued throughout Rops's career, you come to see how much of an asset he's actually growing into. And, you know, that's not just credit to, like, Mousesports for picking him up and letting this happen in the first place.
He's done himself.
It is Rops who has created all of this, right? And really, like, really blazed one hell of a trail for himself and his own individual storyline.
I'm so excited for this game that we know how much prep Big do into their opponents, right? But how much prep can you do when Mousesports have barely touched officials in these last few weeks ever since the Pro League? Getting straight into the game. It's Big on the CT side. Mousesports is pick and Rops is right out the hut. Players down secret. It's not a lower play though. That bomb is in the A site and Tizian is dropping in desperately. We know his pistols can be good, but not today. 2-on-3. Karrigan can cut down Searson, who's come up the vent, but he's only buying time for Chris J and the site, who gets one tap by Tabson. Karrigan now in the clutch. Bomb for him and he's got Tabson out of the round, but Searson swings the door back and Big find the retake. Already off to a splendid start. The pistol is theirs.
That it is. Easy peasy.
There's just so much talent in this server. It's actually kind of mind-boggling. I can't wait to see what the series has in store for us.
Well, you're going to get that. Big pick up the first round of the game and try to get a trajectory going here that leads them to a W on at least Nuke, and then perhaps even their own map pick of Dust 2 Inferno should we need it. Waiting, lingering beyond the realms. If you are joining us, we want to invite you over to the ever-coveted IEM.GG/fancam, where in which you can go on there and basically do anything. But also, if you do something dumb, you will get banned. Searson on the scout outside. Looks on from Big Garage. He's going to get a little bit of attention there from the side of T-Red.
Chris J on the scout as well, right? With no Woxic in this team, we get to see some of the Chris Classic. We know what this scout has done in years gone by, and it's a pleasure to have it back in. But as soon as it's here, it's gone to the nade. Tabson dunks him down, and Searson will be traded. Deagle on top of Silo. BMS has picked up that scout in yard. Main smoke for Karrigan. Tabson can swing it, and Karrigan looking the wrong way. 4-on-3 for Big, dealing with his outside control well, cycling in players. Tabson does get tagged though. He's got another smoke at his feet. That's why he drops that one so quick. And Mousesports, where do they really go from here?
Yeah, they don't really own anywhere on the map right now, right? They've got this scout outside, but it's not like BMAS is exactly carving a path for Mousesports. I'm gonna try and group back up in the lobby and join up with Rops. And that's a safe move. I'd want to be near Rops as well. They will meet back up here. Keto's pushed into the hut.
Nice.
Actually flashed in to go aggressive. Some free damage and sees the leg of Frozen. Well, takes them out of the round and it's all left onto Rops. A 1v4 when this began. And still 3 to find. Santarez going aggressive at ramp. And he did have a little bit of a jog on up to this position. So Rops is looking aware of it. However, Santarez holding the angle, puts that second on the board for Big, and now we've got this buy back in for Mousesports. Now, Hugo, you were saying, right, these teams haven't really touched CS all too much since the Pro League. Obviously, we did have that DreamHack Open Fall series, right? And there, Mousesports had a very dismal performance, right? With losses to OG and Vitality, I believe.
Reasonable losses. And,
yeah, right,
you know.
Yeah, especially like when you think about it.
Great right now.
Vitality looking really good. And OG even, that was where a lot of the faith in OG moving into this event came from. And obviously they've had a pretty dismal start, but you know, they were looking good then as well. However, you know, I do think that if you're Mouse, you needed to get at least one of them. At that event, you know, they drop out right away. They go 0-2 down and it's just the end of the road. Whereas Big, they crunch all the way through. They finish 5th. Not an incredible performance by any stretch of the imagination, but much better than that of Mousesports.
Well, the aggression from Big has been punched in this round. Tabson thinks he's going to get cheeky with it, but Karrigan is well aware. That's just left Keto up here on 39 HP in the rafters by his lonesome.
Karrigan should have this. Oh dear. Covered by the crane. Keto drops down. But at this point, Mousesports go, yeah, that's fine. He's on A. We'll go B. And they've got the bomb down on the lower site with 3 players. So plant in. And Keto, it's a question of saving or going for kills here. Kit dropped in the lobby. But not going to grab it. Just going to move out with the AK instead. And Mousesports find there first. And yeah, I mean, Chris said in that little snippet we had at the start of the pre-match, you know, this is a hard game for Mousesports, bigger, a tough opponent. And while that's true, I mean, if we look at like recent officials at least, right? Mousesports, they're 2-1 in that fact. You know, last time they played back in season 12 of Pro League, they won. The time before that was in Masters, the event that Big picked up, and when Mousesports played their last officials with Woxic, and we know that those games didn't go too well for them. At times, Rops was even AWPing, and Mousesports lost that game, but only just. I mean, you know, they had like an 11-4 Vertigo lead, and they dropped it. They were about to 2-0 the series. So, yeah, I mean, the officials have been okay for Mousesports in recent times against their opponent of Big, but, you know, a lot goes on behind the scenes, a lot goes on in the practice as well. I imagine these teams take each other on fairly regularly, and Big are a team to be feared at best.
Well, it's kind of like we were talking to Evil Geniuses yesterday, and, you know, how much they scrim against a team like Liquid. And there is a point where you don't want to play certain teams, especially when you have to look forward to the matchups between them.
I like these wide smokes Mousesports are using outside quite a lot on this T side, moving behind. They can get to Secret, they can flash to Garage. As we saw last round, Carrigan waited on the fade behind main. Oh, that's a big grenade for Tabson, dunking down too. He has no idea, but he sees them cross into the Garage. That's info now for Big, and Mousesports don't know that Big have this information. They think they're being sneaky and cheeky, but Big have conceded outside and said, that's fine, we'll just bunker down on the sides. Tabson has his line of sight towards the Garage, and Searson spotting outside, knowing that likely Mousesports is still trapped in this position. Oh, they're going to run boost across to stop the Heaven play. Tabson doesn't see it. This is usually so an AWPer scoped in on the right side of Garage can peek into Heaven. But right now it's just BMAS hoping that someone gives away a kill. Big aren't going to make that mistake with all the information. Searson scoped up on it. Tabson did call it to his teammate, and now Big a man up as Mousesports try and wrap this A site.
Oh, Tabson. Close. Second time around, gonna get a bit of damage onto Frozen. Carrigan deeged out. Frozen having to take up his position in main as they want to get a move on. They are losing players by the second, and what was once looking good is now starting to look very, very dire. One by one they fall, and it's all left onto Chris J. He does get down into this B site, but a 1v5 is where he finds himself now. We've had some great moments from Chris, and this one, it's not feeling like one of them. He's certainly got his work cut out for him. Bomb down, it's not planted for him. Now, he should be aware of that on account of him being the man who planted the bomb. Does have this Molotov, but Tabson with his smoke will be able to kind of nullify that very, very quickly. It's Jay giving up the aim of the game. In with the first, onto Xantares. Molly onto the bomb. And Tabson not nearby to extinguish it. It does keep them off for the time being. There's the smoke from Tabson, and Big, they've got that third round on the board. A good try from Chris, and at least the bomb planted.
Oh, yeah, I mean, if that smoke wasn't there for Big, that might have been a 1 round for Chris. That might have been a 1-on-5 with only a single kill. That got pretty damn close. No kit there on that retake, but yeah, it's a round nonetheless. Big are going to be happy with that. And great concede at the outside position there. Too many teams, you know, double down when they see their opponents take yard and try and fight for it. Big just give it up. They go, it's fine. You've got to come to a bomb site eventually. We know you want to wrap A because you've taken the Garage and not drop Secret with those yard smokes. And so Big just pad that A site. Searson assist Tabson in the hell, and Big find another 3-1. Mousesports to the buy. Frozen missed by, I can only presume. He's on the armorless Bison, not the most common investment.
Nah, it could be on purpose, man. Yeah. I'm just kidding. Who the hell buys a Bison?
Me and Frozen play all the time, right? And he's always buying up this gun. Tizian up on top of the hut, though, kind of bids them farewell right away. And this is a slaughter of a round. It's left onto Rops. Well, swipe Tabson out of the round. He's now also left in this very, very tricky clutch. They're all over A. They're swarming that bomb. And the only thing Rops has got plenty of is time. 1 minute and 10 seconds. He's going to start to wrap back outside, looking for a way into this round. Now, I would love to see like an outside to heaven wrap here. I think that's pretty ballsy.
Yeah.
But with all this time, right? Like, you got nothing better to do if you're Rops.
Well, the longer the time ticks down, too, the more aware the Big have to be of so many different openings and avenues of approach to try to get the bomb.
See, they're already set up like this. Xantares is watching Heaven from the CT vent, so he has his teammate swing. And with 2 on the bomb site, this should be fine for Big. Rops is going for what you wanted, Harry, the full wrap round to Heaven. Going to take the ladder instead. Ooh, Is he really going ramp? I mean, yeah, finally taking the ladder, looking at hell, but not going to commit to it. 25 on the clock. Tizian's tucked down behind the box. Rops can't see him. He's got to clear Xantares first. Oh, nice shot. Players below him. Searson's tucked, and Tizian is going to trade in the one-on-one. Searson gets tapped, man, but it's still a round for Big.
Scary stuff.
NT.
I do really love this this Big squad though. I think one of my favorite things about it is this idea that like Tabson for the longest time was kind of like head and shoulders above anyone else in the German scene, right? And he always stuck around to try and build something, to try and make something of this region again. And it feels like, you know, he's finally been like rewarded for that kind of persistence, right? Like he's had so many teammates come and go in and out of this squad. And now I think with the, I was going to say recent, but not recent at all anymore, right? But with the additions of Keto and Searson, when these guys were brought in, it just felt like it injected so much needed firepower into this Big squad. I really think Searson has been such a great pickup in particular.
Yeah.
Like that strong AWP presence that was desperately needed. Gone are the days of like, you know, when Tabson and Smooya were fighting over who was AWPing. You know, no more, man. You've got Searson, and he always brings up the goods. Now, Carrigan does get across into Secret. Rops has been boosted with this scout. Searson, the man that we were just talking about here with the AWP towards CT, moves into Hell to try and keep some wraps on outside. Big, once again, just kind of conceding territory, waiting for these sightlines to open up and for these choice players to get given engagements. And there's one of them. Searson holding Tabson, dealing with Carrigan down through Secret. And Mouse, their numbers are already dwindling.
And again, Big just give it up. Mousesports are so desperately looking for these fights outside. Big have a 5-on-3 and they just back up into their crossfires. Searson gives it another peek, gives it a go. Oh, missed shots. They're getting closer. Frozen's just around the corner. Beamas spotted with a deagle. He's going to take down the AWP. There's a chance now for Mousesports, but Tabson rids them of Frozen on the ramp room. Beamas trying to trade with that AWP. He gets tagged up. Tabson waiting for a second man. Double peeked, and Beamas with the kill. 15 seconds. Is there even time for the plant? There's a player on lower to stop this exact contingency. Xantares is here. Can he finish off Chris? 7 seconds. No cover. Xantares with the bomb dropped, and Beamas just trying to get this trade, or at least die before the clock expires. He'll get one of them. 5-1 for Big, slaughtering on this CT side. Really, really good work so far, and Mousesports are having trouble. Also, that's just another great part of Big's defense on this map, right? Like, you look at Searson as being a really strong AWPing presence. Xantares is one of the best B players in Europe at times, right? Like, he has a spot named after him on the rafters. He's so good at locking down those decon plays and stalling out in Secret. Most importantly, not just dying in that L-bend, getting away with his life and getting that info to his team. Frozen, fast outside. Finding Searson and Mousesports, they do run the gauntlet towards Secret for a change. They've been pretty lackadaisical in this position. This time they have lower, push into the lobby, and that's the bomb at the back of spawn as well. Tizian's found Chris. Now, they haven't got this bomb yet, but Big have a huge amount of information and control.
Carrigan and Rops, they've been entrusted to go back and get this bomb, which they will be able to do. Xantares down lower gets beheaded by Frozen there on the peak with the AK. And Big are trying to pressure lobby. Now for Rops, who's hidden in the door, this could be good. Carrigan can draw the attention away. And then Rops is like this nasty little surprise thing you never wanted to meet. You're just ready to only fight Carrigan. And even then, that's proven to be a big enough challenge. Tabson will drop the bomb at least. Tabson, not the kind of guy you want to give a bomb to, but there's Rops with this surprise out through the door. And Mousesports, they will find a second.
Good call for Mouse. Very aware of that lobby aggression, right? Especially when they get that B pick. Big know they have nothing in the round. They've lost the lower site. They know there's at least 2 players down there for Mousesports. In essence, probably expecting more players down B as well, considering how fast Mousesports ran those smokes. And then Big just try and take the lobby, try and take some control back. Mousesports are very, very aware of that possibility. Not giving it away. Back on the board with a second. Breaking Big's money. It was about time. And already like running these smokes almost every round to some degree of these smokes, right? Like that's always going to be a problem for a CT side. You never know when they're being faked. You never know when you're getting 5 players down secret, or if it's just util and then your opponents are waiting in the lobby. And so Mousesports setting a bit of a precedent into this T side. Playing the long game, as it were. Big's pistols are pushing into the lobby and getting picked up one by one. And this should just be a free round for Mousesports with no casualties.
And one of the things that's always so exciting about this matchup is, you know, as highlighted by Chris J in that little interview, is that Big are always a team that love to do their research, right, and get really ready for the opponents they're facing. And in that same vein, right, like Carrigan is often very, very good at anti-stratting his opponents. So it feels like this like incredibly masterful game of chess where like both teams, both like IGLs are so ready for what the opponent is going to do that it feels like every round is just trying to figure out like what are the reactions going to be? How do we turn that against them? How do we turn their research into a problem? Bit of spam on that smoke. Frozen will slowly begin his journey by it. Actually deciding against it with a main smoke getting thrown in from Carrigan.
I think it's an NL.
Oh, I hear typing.
Yeah.
You might be right.
No damage has been done as far as I'm aware, so things should just be good for a reset round here, assuming that's the case, and there it is. So stick with us. It will just be quick. Yeah, Frozen looked like he lost control of his mouse there. He's running without looking anywhere, trying to get out of danger. Avoid the damage, right? So they could actually.
It's like, guys, my mouse is dead. I need like 20 minutes just to charge it a bit.
Yeah, Frozen's dropped. So, you know, buggy game. Things happen sometimes. That's fine. We'll get it back in play in just a second. And Mousesports, like from what we saw there, again, just going back to those outside smokes, throwing Frozen down B. And he's been you know, pretty fair at getting this fight against Antares, getting away with it a couple of times. And so that's good for Mousesports. So if that continues.
I think it's, you know, it was interesting hearing from Chris, you know, kind of impact felt by the coach ban, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Didn't think that would be something he'd just so willingly bring up, but you know, I think it brings up an interesting point in the sense that when you're trying to practice, it's very, very important to have like that outsider perspective, right? Someone looking at like the grander picture who's willing to call out mistakes or errors that come in. And on top of that, like one of the kind of overlooked things I think about a lot of these bans that came through is like the effect it has on like relationships, right? Like a lot of these guys were very good friends with their coaches in a lot of these teams, right? These guys, for some teams, have been together for years. And then it's like, wow, okay, yes, so now we're in this position where, you know, they've done something very, very bad. We got to get rid of them.
We also know that you know, sometimes he even came up with some, like Regin came up with some cool smokes and stuff. Like Chris J credited him for the hut smoke when they rush out of A in this map, and you know, you smoke the lobby and it gets rid of the Molotov in the hut, like things like that. And yeah, a lot of coaches find little tricks and ways to exploit utility. Oh dear. Oh, the timing. Chris looks away. Lobby push, but he does deal with it well. Taps and finds a kill outside. And Antares holding down the ramp room. 2 kills. Bomb drop. Frozen has his lurk in the yard that has once again come through, but it's all too little too late. He may have found a kill. Searson's here with the orb, and he has got the shot, as he often does. 6 to Big. And yeah, the bomb just getting thrown to the ground on ramp. Mousesports getting shredded.
If you ever want to watch something truly mesmerizing that's related to one of these players, watch Antares DMing. Like, this guy in DM, I'm showing you one of the videos I'm talking about. Like, it's actually not even reasonable how fast he is. And it's like, when you see the stuff he gets away with in the realms of deathmatch, it's like, yeah, no wonder you're a bit of a sick ramp player. Like, I would hate to peek into that ramp room when Antares is there. This time it's Searson trying to get aggressive, and he ends up getting snuffed out as a result. Chris J on the AWP here. Antares trying to hold it down in spite of losing a man early on, and they actually pull Tabson around as well.
It's nice to see this AWP in Chris J's hands as well. Karrigan is running that bomb outside, so Chris holding the ramp room after taking one. He knows that Xantares is still up, and so he's not rushing into this position as it was a problem last round. Eventually smoked off, 2 on ramp, and again a crunch in the lobby for Big. Keto, does he check this? Rops is very ready, but Keto's got the flick back. Chris with the AWP, missing his shot, and Keto opens up a double in the lobby. Mousesports, they have to commit to B. It's all they've got in this round, and look who's here.
Xantares, only one at the end of that spray, but a bit more damage done. Frozen trying to hold the vent rotate. Keto's fast out of it. Falls to BMAS, who's trying to catch this timing back into the vents, but spotted by Tizian. And now 2 players here. Ooh, that's a nice kill on the swing, but Keto is still a problem. While this is happening, tabseN has left ramp and rotates to heaven, so he's here early, and BMAS is not ready for that.
Oh, dear.
That is a really nice call from Big, right? You might have been watching, expecting it to be Keto to be that next line of engagement. Instead, he doesn't give the fight up because they actually want BMAS to go up the vent into A. tabseN's already there, and you know, you're already reading into that like, there's no way he's ready for a fast heaven player.
Oh.
And so tabseN just runs out, gets a free kill.
Yeah, we're gonna take a look at some of those smokes that we're seeing here from the side of Mousesports. And of course, they're creating a wall here. It's isolating vision. You're not gonna be able to see in. You're not really gonna be able to see out. But ultimately, they do leave this player that just kind of lingers around, and it leaves just that little bit of an illusion that, hey, are we there? Are we not there?
Yeah, and they're doing a lot with it, right? We've seen garage takes, we've seen fake smokes with 1 player behind it, we've seen secret for Mousesports, and that keeps Big on their toes. But right now, their adjustments have seen pretty good. searson just wallbang Karrigan through hell. That is ridiculous. Xantares is on B already, but they're going to trade him after 1. Keto holding on to the hell side with searson, giving up that lower sight, and tabseN needs to double back as he sees yard is clear, but it's not. Chris J is crawling round, looking to cut off rotates here. Big can take the vent instead, because tabseN has this position. Tizian very loud on his drop with Keto, and the retake is on for Big.
And they're trying to get stuck in quickly. Frozen's holding this little gap in the door and was hoping that Karrigan was going to come in to help out. Chris J missed shot on this scout, and again, not given a 3rd chance. It's left to Rops, who's up on top of the silo, pressured from seemingly everywhere.
What a mad lad.
He was even getting spammed from Keto in towards like decon door. Everything was very, very confusing for Rops there. Like, didn't really know where he's getting shot from.
Everywhere. Great reaction for Big as well, right? And often in many of these rounds, they've lost control and they've just adopted a quick lobby take. In that round, they just drop B immediately. tabseN gets a lot of room in secret, and so he knows that they can come down the vent side, and that's a big problem for Mousesports. They're hoping that Big rotates secret, because Chris has that lurk outside with the scout, but Big already have the control down lower, even with Xantares dead. A lot of good reads in this game so far for Big. searson with the AWP. He's gone down as well. Will he be AWPing secret or just hanging around in the vent for now? tabseN spots outside, 13:37 on the score. He could be good. tabseN's utility has been banging this game as well, constantly dunking these players in yard. Now, Mousesports do get across to secret, but as said, the AWP came down here earlier, and searson is ready for the fight, but the jump across baited by Karrigan, and BMAS with a headshot. That's a great play for Mouse. They've got a quick B entry, but Rops has lost his life on the top site, and Xantares is already in his aforementioned position. Can he hold strong?
Kind of a staple for Xantares' play. He's a menace from here, lines up 2. BMAS just scared to leave the control room now. Rightfully so. We're gonna try to pie him off. Keto may see a gun barrel. Yes, he does. BMAS has been sniffed out.
Chris J has been given this bomb plant in the A site, and whoo, tap on a Tizian. So now down to this 1v3, but pushing the lobby is tabseN. Chris, you need your gun out. You need your gun out. You're trying to walk heaven, but tabseN's already there. And this man's no angel. It's going to be the defuse for Big. They put 9 on the board, and this is incredibly dominant thus far.
And tabseN is reading rotates right now like a genius. He remember that heaven wrap in the 2-on-1 against BMAS? And right there, he's just holding radio. He's not even pushing into lobby. Like, why would he be ready for Chris to wrap ramp? What a read, man. This guy's brain is huge right now. His nades are great. His aim is incredible. There's no stopping tabseN. And of course, a strong lower hold from Xantares. What else would you expect?
It's a pretty good start for Big on the map pick of Mousesports. A little bit of a sigh of relief as to how this half has gone thus far. Kerrigan, on the other hand, foreheading.
Where do we go from here? Mousesports need these last 3 rounds if they want to have a decent T side. Frozen is at least opened up on the cross. Santaris tries to get to Secret. Not the safest route, and you see why. That silo player can catch timings, and Frozen does it perfectly. Finally, Mousesports with a man advantage that isn't traded out of spawn. So this is their bread and butter. This is where they can really pull out the big guns. What do they got for us?
Have a shot here with that man advantage. Here's on AWP at ramp. It's going to leave Tabson looking on towards the Secret side.
Fake smokes.
Yeah, we see the outside smokes again. This time, a little bit closer to Secret.
Mousesports are hoping for that lobby reaction, right? When Big lose yard, they often aggress and take the lobby, but right now they're not doing it. And Tabson has spotted a lurker behind these smokes as well, or in front of them rather. Kerrigan finally making his way outside. Mousesports, they've had nothing given to them in the lobby. They're spamming the smokes. They're going to take ramp instead. Searson was here with the AWP, but he's doubled back to that A site, giving Mousesports the room. Can Searson put up a fight here as he rotates quick? 30 seconds. Mousesports mollying off hell. They're going to drop B safe, leaving Rops in this position. Keto on B. Zantares is already dead. Keto needs the strong hold, and he's got B-Mass gone as well. Double down for Keto. Not a third, but that's a great try. And 20 seconds puts Mousesports a man down in the post plant.
Yeah, that's what they needed. Big break right there in lower. Bomb still gets planted from Frozen. Kerrigan on 45 HP, also navigating his way down there. And Frozen's just got a tuck in the site. He can't escape. Searson with AWP looking on. Hello?
Do they think it's A? They saw no one on B. They're like, well, he planted. He's not anywhere. He's behind the boxes. Big have heard this wrong. They think it's the A site, and they're running desperately, only to realize that that is not the case. Wait, A's clear?
Tabson, you said it was A! What the hell?
That's very unfortunate for Big. That was their round to win. They had a 3-on-2.
It certainly makes me feel a bit better, right? Like, you know,
not just us.
We've all been there where it's like, is that A or B? Especially on Nuke, where it can be kind of difficult to sometimes tell. And you know, they take the peek in, and as you say, they don't see anyone. So they're like, well, it sounds like it could be B, but it must be A. Rotate up, and they realize they've got it all wrong.
Yeah, Keto even dropped the bomb lower on that double as well. So, like, they assumed that bomb went back up heaven into A. That was never the case.
Yeah, Mousesports probably just as confused as Big were.
They saved the man up. I mean, we'll take it. We'll take a 4th round. Thank you very much, Big. Signed, sealed, and delivered. But Mousesports, time to kick up the pace a notch. Fast out the door. Rops pulling out the rifle last second with a flashbang, but Keto again spraying away. They get down the vent, but what cost? Big with 2 kills. Mousesports have B, but Big ain't falling for it this time around. Tabson, lots of damage on the second, and even with the bomb plant, Frozen is trapped in the lobby by Zantares' push.
I don't think there's going to be any confusing this one right here. Chris drops a smoke just to try to get out of the line of sight, just to find some better positioning. There goes Frozen as sort of a backup plan, and Chris J on 15 HP. He does have an AK. Breaks the control room window, tries to do a little bit of a Zantares positioning.
Chris J has this horrible knack for always being the last guy surviving in these horrific situations. Keto gonna mop it up with 3, and Big reach double digits. No mistakes this time around, right? That is a very, very good round from Big. Tabson with the immediate rotate in through ramp. Yeah, only gets away with like 1.5 kills, but brings Chris J down so low and denies like 2 players being able to play a crossfire around that bomb to apply any more pressure. That's a very big kill that comes in. And the fact that Frozen, the only guy with any HP, is just dropped immediately on the rotate. Like, even though there are players in B getting that bomb down, they still don't believe that lobby is entirely clear.
And that's one entire factor of the CT side. Big haven't fallen for any of the lurks of Mousesports, whether it's, you know, a player hiding outside behind red or main, or a player at the back of the lobby. Big have been clearing it, and they've been very methodical. So yeah, props to them, not falling for the trickery of Mousesports. More util outside. Molotov. Frozen gets past, but he will be heard jumping around tabseN is playing the red box. There's many more players to be found. BMAS dropped on the corner. tabseN with a second and a third. Bomb at his feet and frozen dead in the water. Keto has his cover. tabseN tries to escape, and while it will be punished, it's a 1-on-5 for Robs. We've seen so many of these awkward situations for Mousesports, and none of them converted yet. And not even giving Robs the kill either. Oh, it's Tizian on the roof. Big 11 for a brutal first half on the pick of Mousesports. Will there be any coming back for it? We'll have to wait and see. Join us in just a minute for what could be the culmination of Nuke.
Come on.
Millions of gamers rage quit every day. Mountain Dew Game Fuel's got you covered. Game Fuel is specially crafted with ingredients shown to improve accuracy and alertness. Another one saved by Mountain Dew Game Fuel.
Second half of play, and this has been a masterclass from the big side thus far. That was their CT side. Now we're going to see what Mousesports have to offer here at the Intel Extreme Masters Beijing 2020 Online. The opening matchup for both of these teams, and they want to get it started in the right direction. Believe it or not, Big not coming in here as a fan favorite. Hell, even all the analysts here predicted against them. But I knew that there was a real shot for them in this game.
Yeah, Big are pretty warm, man. They took down Fours earlier in the day. They've already played an official. They are looking fantastic. Mousesports, they need something here. 4-round T-side, not going to be enough. Pistol is a necessity at this point on their pick in the series. With Dust2 coming up, questions about the Mousesports side. And hopefully answers on our screen here. Tizian with just one smoke and one flash trying to cross the yard, but he's tapped by BMAS. Keto makes it into main. It's a bit of an A split for Big with the bomb going ramp side. Robs drops one sis and might want to double back, but BMAS has found another. Keto is gone, and this ramp play has been abandoned by Big. Nice hold for Mousesports. Can they keep it up in the 2v5?
Oh, BMAS certainly can. Tapped out the round by Searson, but there is the response, and a very big round from BMAS, who'd had a pretty quiet game thus far. Able to stifle Big in that pistol, put a 5th on the board, and get Mousesports off to a good start here in the second half. Now, it's a long way to go to mount this recovery, but it's definitely not impossible, and really not with that pistol round victory going your way. Made even more likely by this decision to force here for Big. If you win this, you go 6-11 up. There's no money for Big. And suddenly, you know, that 7-11 scoreline, very, very tempting, very, very achievable before the first buy round would come through.
Bomb is again waiting ramp for Big. Like, as the pistol went, trying to feign this outside control, crunching ramp. Mousesports had 2 players there last round. Similar story, Chris is scouting out, but he can help hell if Rops calls for it. Might not need the help, although Xantares is dig dirty at the best of times. And there it is, he finds Rops with the second shot. tabseN moving in as well, taking a lot of room on the ramp. Big can drop B and plant if they want. They're looking to wrap A again. Keto dropped in main. They're coming from heaven. tabseN missed shot, but he responds the second time around, much as Xantares did. Big, never giving up, never going down. And now Mousesports left in a 2-on-4. That force might be everything for Big.
Oh boy.
It's all on the in-game leader. 1-on-4, does have Tizian in the backstab, but this bomb is already B. Despite getting all the A picks, Big won't commit with it, and they'll drop lower where Mousesports won't expect. Carrigan realizing the hard way, and he is trapped. Yeah. Oh no.
Oh, but now Searson knows, and look at him, he's so keen to take
all running
all
for
are
it.
going for it.
Ah!
They're hunting down
go.
Carrigan.
They gotta go. Oh no, Xantares has a flash. Carrigan knows his time is
Oh
up.
boy.
Time's up, Carrigan.
On the shoes.
Oh, Xantares. What a beast. This is
wild.
a masterclass for Big Man. This is a great game. They win the force, Harry. Forget that 11-7. It ain't happening. It's not on the menu.
Cancelled.
Wasn't meant to be. You think, okay, Carrigan, a lot of work to be done there. Just wasn't meant to be. Mousesports getting their roll slowed.
And this is just desperate, right? Like, you're going to get one buy round if you're Mousesports at 14-5. And that's all you've got to showcase your Nuke CT side. They needed the pistol. They needed the conversions.
They're saving strats, Hugo. That's the only logical explanation for what you're witnessing.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's the case. Chris said he had a good feeling about this matchup, but right now, Big, don't care how you feel. Chris is lower. Watching the cross. tabseN trying to entry. BMAS alongside Chris. Oh, dead immediately. Nice shot. BMAS. Oh, he's a beast with a pistol. He's doubled up with the dig. Bomb retrieved, and they can back out as Mousesports have dropped 3 players lower. They're hunting these kills. No one is looking. Carrigan with a spray, and he's going to be able to find one. Searson traded off of that dig. Frozen is here as well. Mousesports surrounding the package. And that's a great little rotate that Big were not ready for. 1 man, surely too many. 2? Okay, that's enough. It's all on Tizian, a long way from home, but he has the time to play for this bomb.
Look at Rops, though. He is going into heaven. There is a timing here where he could get the info that Tizian's going down the vent, but he just misses it by a second. And now they might discount this this vent rotate. Now, they know there was a timing that Tizian could have hit, so they're still being careful. And with Rops beginning a rotation down through the vent, time becomes the problem for Tizian. He needs both these kills, and he needs them now. There's the first onto Frozen. Gonna try and get into B, and he does have time. Oh, no! He doesn't have time because he didn't have faith, and goes to check the window room. Now,
Have faith, man.
yeah, that's a little bit awkward.
He assumes Rops is already there, right? And if he goes for the stick, he's just going to get digged and die. But yeah, that was, little does he know, that was his plant. That was his chance at a 1-on-1 with the bomb to his favor. All too good to be true, he thinks. And well, sometimes it's not. Nonetheless, man, this one's a roller coaster right now. Mousesports with a pistol, Big pick up a Deagle force. Mousesports do it right back to him with the hunt in secret. And now they've bought themselves another, I guess you could call it a rifle round if you class FAMASs as rifles. I guess you should, but also FAMASs. Big have got an AK as well. They're not sleeping. They've got the lead to play with. They've got a huge buffer. Frozen in the smoke outside. Big are just walking by. Sisson scoped. Frozen knows there's at least something here. He's checking deep, but he should be looking shallow. They've already crossed the secret, and he's got one. Does he know about the entourage of T's down in B's? And Torres shows the bomb, and Frozen with a Molotov keeps Big trapped.
Yeah, just stuck in now. They've got to commit one way or the other, and it looks like they've got to go towards this lower site. Rops hiding in the control room window. He's not going to last very long. Taps in right place, right time, and again.
Uh-oh.
Finds Kerrigan. Begins to make this look like a 13th round for Big.
Okay.
Oh, Chris can catch a good timing there onto Tabson. But as you mentioned, Hugo, there is no kit in place. So Mouse, they've got to be very, very fast now, or else these force buy wars are set to continue. Chris J from Ramp could get the info that both players are here. Keto tries to hold the line. Zatares in the double door spamming, but they are on the defuse, and there he is, run down by Frozen.
Oh.
Mouse just about get that one back under control. It looked like Tabson was about to do it to him.
And finally, 2 rounds in a row. The forces should be stopped for now. Big could justify buying if they wanted to because they had the lead, but without, making that a really expensive round for Mousesports, 3 survive, and so the justification for Big is lesser than if it was a 1v1. Nonetheless, bomb planted, so we'll see how Big decide to buy into this upcoming round, but Mousesports have saved their bacon for now. Yeah, just Eags. Sisson can save for the AWP as well. He's got 4K, so looking good there. Now, Big are really good at getting a pick outside and just giving the room to Mousesports, which, didn't really offer them a whole lot as Big anchored the sites really well in their defense. Mousesports are taking a similar vein. Chris is watching from hell with the AUG, and Frozen only has the main cross as well. So they can get secret, but they're going to run boost. It misses. Now trying to get past Frozen. He shoots his shot, but it will be a miss. The spray is better as he lines up 2, and same for Chris. Tabson with the Deagle. Frozen, he's got this one under wraps. Mousesports up to 8 with a flawless round. That was a necessity to build the money, and now Big come in with the big guns.
See, as someone who used to cover a lot of the ESL Meisterschaft, man, I can tell you that, like, those German Deagles, right, when they're in play, it's always very, very scary. Frozen really helps just keep that round under control, right? With a nice double spray down, even then peeking out to get Tabson at the very end of things. And now 8-12, 4 between these two teams. Considering our worry after that force buy victory from Big was that Mouse were only going to get 1 rifle round. It's quite the recovery, and it could be set to continue. Frozen opening this round up again. He's having a great performance in the second half, and he's not content with just 1. Now, this does leave him hung out to dry outside, wrapped by Keto. But look at what his teammates have done. In the meantime, while he's causing a ruckus outside, they've taken lobby away from Big. They are wrapping aggressively into... Oh, but Tabson, looking back, he just misses the timing, man. He checked it. But Rops hitting it at the perfect time. And Tabson
fallback as well.
This is kind of grinded to a bit of a halt now.
Yeah, that lobby control. It's the new name of the game, the new aim of the game even.
They're just hoping for duels right now, but nothing's getting given over. They know Rops has conceded this position. They're going to take the bomb to B. B-Mass is here. He has been stellar on these lower holds. Right now, just spotting. Just going to have that info ahead of time. But again, like you'll jump here and then you'll run decon into the B-bomb site. And Big, if they see you, they could double back. There's B-Mass retreating to B. But Big don't want to go back up the vent into what they don't know A has to offer. And so they'll commit to this lower site. B-Mass in Zantares and Chris J supporting from ramp.
Smoke out for the cross. Zantares gets bested by Bemis. Now that leaves Keto. What's he going to be good for here? Not much time. Looks for the plant. Gets spammed into oblivion by Chris J. We have a 12-9 game. Getting closer and closer. Where's Dust 2 after this? Do we think we're going to see Inferno, boys?
Oh, I mean, Mousesports can pull this one back. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think it very much depends on the outcome of Nuke, right? And right now, it's kind of too close to call. Like, Mouse have made this comeback look very, very realistic, considering that performance in the first half was pretty flat and Big were looking lights out. You know, it all kind of started with this exchange of force rounds in the beginning, and it looked like Mouse were kind of out of it after losing to the force buy of Big. But now the confidence is building back up. We got like the young guns of Frozen and BMAS starting to get more warmed up and into the swing of things. Frozen, especially with this outside and kind of main play that he's been going for in a lot of these rounds, he's been a real difference maker. This time we see him back in this garage position, similar to how we got that double kill spray down last time. And these outside smokes go in again. Looks like the one at the red cross is a little deep, but I don't think there's anyone to take advantage of that or get the info that nobody's crossed outside. However, Mouse, they are stacked pretty favorably down towards lower with Carrigan there early. However, Rops has just left ramp. Oh dear. They get ramp control. Chris is going to hear it like, Rops, they're in hell. Rops tries to get it back under control, and he will, thankfully, but Chris is caught. It gets a little bit ugly. Deagle from Xantares picks up another, and Carrigan having to rotate in through the vent, bailed out by Rops, who's on for the ace, but Carrigan steals it away.
Of course.
That was uncomfortably close, but Rops, what a hero, man. Like, even though he gives up ramp, he immediately realizes from the audio, Frozen gets caught running hell. Maybe miscommunication problems there for Mousesports in terms of how deep they were.
Chris, did he just leap down and take the fights? Because he was in heaven with Rops.
I think he did.
And he's just like, well, I'll go for it, and then gets glocked out of the round. So
very, very awkward round. And Frozen's like, yeah, we didn't get eco'd. Woo! That's good. Mousesports, they needed that, right? If you get eco'd at this kind of scoreline, you might just get knocked out of the game. But right now, they're still in this with a fighting chance. Chris with an opening kill, and now it's just adding to the Mousesports tally. Is he in dead early? Big outside.
We've actually got double orbs here. Rops on the other one. Something that we've seen him picking up more and more.
There's no smokes to obscure his vision out there, and look at him go.
Yeah, Carrigan hasn't really wielded that weapon. It's been Chris and Rops, mainly Chris. But the results are there. Rops hitting a second shot. Orb coming back out from Secret, and Rops hangs around. You can't afford to do that against Searson. Fast in the server. Carrigan not letting Xantares get deep and Big. With a very loose round, taking a lot of fights outside, they'll be punished by Mousesports. Searson now in a 1-on-4. And Carrigan might have just seen him double back as well. He's above the box. Smoke eluding a bit of his vision. Searson goes back to T-spawn.
Yeah, this has been a rough series of rounds here for Big. And it's not even so much that they're just losing the rounds. There's also Mousesports players being left alive. Never, ever are we seeing the punishment.
Talking of German AWPers, I was just thinking about Kiev a minute ago. Do you guys remember Kiev?
Yeah. I was actually thinking.
I was wondering, where's this guy gotten to? I just looked at his HLTV page. He hasn't played an official since 2018, early 2018. His second last official was in Big against Mousesports. That Mousesports roster at the time, Chris, Oscar, Stiko, Sonny, Rops, if you remember that one. Bit of a classic. And Big, Legia next, Gob, Tabs, and Kiev. He was a real, like, upcoming talent at some point. I remember him at E-League looking incredible on LAN.
Yeah, but I think that was always the problem with Kiev, is that like one game he would look absolutely unreal, and then the next it would be like, well, he's got 4 kills and they're getting 16 threes. So I mean, he gave us some great moments. There was that one on Overpass, right, where he's like on the truck, and I think he just does it single-handedly. I swear he gets like 4. It might even be an ace.
Where'd he go, though? 2018, man. That's a long time ago. I thought he'd at least hang around in the German scene. We're seeing more and more German talent rise up, looking at Sprout and the likes. And there's always been great opportunity in that at the Meisterschaft and other events, 99 Damage, for German players and German teams. So,
what we're saying is, Kiev, if you're watching, make a comeback. Yeah. Don't join Big, though. They're doing all right. You know.
Any other team,
make it happen. Mousesports, 11-12, man. This was so close. I like that you bring that up, Hugo. I was thinking the exact same thing, because the train of thought I was going down when I was reminiscing about Kiev's time in this team is I was thinking about like the story of tabseN and the reason why it's such a cool story. I kind of said this earlier in that he always made it his priority to try and do something with the German scene, right? You think about tabseN, he's like one of the OG descendants of a guy like godb, right? Who for the longest time was like the grandfather to German CS, right? Like he was the guy trying to put it on the map in the same vein as someone like tabseN was. And tabseN, the thing about him is he's a very, very talented player. Like look at what he's done throughout his career to try and make this squad work. Like we've seen him AWP, we've seen him lead. He has done kind of everything out there that you can do to make it work. And he could have gone to international squads. This guy speaks fluent English. Like he could have done anything, right?
He's had offers.
Even when he is IGL, even when he is leading, it's not uncommon to see him up at the top of the board. That's just kind of where he belongs. This guy has got so much talent, and yet still has just tried to make this big squad work. And it looked like for a while his career was going to be like a story of a tragedy of like a player who was so good but ultimately went nowhere. And that's why it is so nice to see him now with a team like this around him, right, where they can put up the goods. Now, obviously, having that big monologue about tabseN and how it's great to see a team around him that are looking great while this comeback's happening isn't exactly ideal.
It's not really how you design it.
No, they got to try and put a stop to this. Mousesports holding down ramp. And Robs might have his work cut out for him.
Oh, I like the boost up, but Mousesports aren't giving away anything on the ramp room. Robs knows that AWP was saved. And a pick is all Big have to work with. Chris on the cross, and he's got his own AWP deep flash. It's going to get him, though. Robs turns around, and now he sprays them down. Only one.
Oh, man.
Here's him with a deagle. Frozen drops the B-lurk. tabseN is out of the picture, and Big can go lower, but they've not got that real estate there, thanks to tabseN's departure of the round. Frozen opens a door and goes back to double to keep Big on their toes. Karrigan's come down vent as well. Mousesports, can they put a stop to this plant? Molly hits Frozen. That might have been heard. No one's tapped the bomb yet. 20 seconds, though. There comes the plant. Mousesports have to respect it and play for the retake.
Seriously, looking through decon. Isn't going to land a shot just yet, but with this bomb planted, 3-on-3, Frozen makes his move, finds two, and now it is just seresyn. Chris J and bemis on the other side. seresyn with an AWP, decides to get close up in the sight.
Oh, my.
Both players coming through the double door. Here we go. It's going to be a grimy end to this round. I can feel it right now. seresyn just waiting.
Ooh.
AWP peek. Chris J, not good for it. And now they're stuck on each other in the smoke on top of the bomb. There's no way Mousesports get this defused now. seresyn, right place, right time, right answer, and everything in between. 13 for Big.
The side swap, man. He AWPs from dark, and then he goes right across to the blue box as Mousesports set up at double door. They have no idea. Chris is jumping in, not thinking he's there, and then seresyn just hides in the smoke that Mousesports drop. That is an excellent clutch. And that was the only weapon Big had in the round. It was all pistols with seresyn on the AWP. My, oh my. What a round for Big to pick up.
Just well played there for seresyn, too. Hope and a dream when you're hiding in the back of the site like that.
Yeah. That's what's like, where's he gotten to? Where's he hiding? Right in your face. Rops pushing through the smoke. seresyn with another opener, and Big. That is going to build them into this T side. They've been very quiet. They haven't won a round since the second with the deagle forced by Mousesports streaking together. And now finally Big, a round up and a man up in this one. 5-on-4 grouping in the lobby, leaving outside after the smokes go down. And that's forced to rotate. Karrigan's confirmed that these smokes are a fake, and so Chris needs to be very ready for contact here on the AWP. Oh, they're very close. They try and boost. Chris with a shot, up close, bomb dropped, and he is going to be able to back up as well. Very low, can't afford to die here with this package, but they're going to smoke him off, and Chris has to respect it.
That's a big grinding halt there for Big. They have to turn around. They have to tuck tail, go the other direction. bemis playing on the floor in the site. They're going to try to pincer now, making their move.
Oh, bemis. There's one. Can he find anything else? Does have support from the hut if needed. Well, actually, never mind that. They both get dropped. Chris J through the vent, but tabseN holding it. And that's 14 for Big.
Oh, that feels bad, man, for Chris, right? He shuts him down. He gets the trades on ramp. He gets the bomb, but he's so low, he can't hold on. Has to give it up. And in doing so, Big just overwhelmed the A site with only one anchor player there. bemis Not able to get more than one. You can just see that orb coming up through the vent as well, piercing the wall. And this is it. This is Big running away, potentially picking things up at the end of the map. Oh, Chris Molly crossed into Tizian, who's waiting on the boxes. And another opener for Big. They started last round 5-on-4 as well. This time, the info isn't even there. Frozen is B, but he doesn't know. There's no calls that Big have outside. They can cross secret for free, but they instead choose the garage. Lots of room for Big in this round to play with. They're not really in a rush. Mousesports hunkered down on the A site. There's Karrigan's orb, though. It's been some time since we've seen it in the server. And he's going to get traded. Caught out on the smoke fade. Frozen would lower, but nothing in terms of contact, even though Big had this outside control. Again, looking for the A split. BMAS spotted. Robs with his back turned. And now BMAS is all that stands on this A site. Again, getting one. But can he do any more?
He's got to go absolutely huge here, does BMAS. And the moment he swings, the flash is good. But it's only one. Frozen now. All the pressure on him. Searson, the man who bested him last time in the clutch, waiting in main, but Frozen plays the delay play. They throw that molly in, so he's here, and they're not ready for it, but Searson with the flick background.
Damn.
Secures 15 for Big, and now Mousesports, the money is gone. They're going to have to force buy to try and keep this one alive.
Damn, Big are looking fresh. They're looking warm. And Mousesports, they've got quite the serving on their plate, and they just don't have an appetite right now. Nice try for BMAS, puts up 2 this time around, better than the last one, but still not enough. Frozen, he plays that clutch to perfection. He dodges the molly. He doesn't peek Searson until he's already in the site, forgetting about main, and still Searson flicks round and hits him on 6 health. Just everything that could go wrong did go wrong there for Mousesports. And now look at the money. Now look at the buy. 1 AK, 1 kit, 1 scout. The Deagles, we know they're really good for Mouse, but that's what you're relying on against 15. Good luck.
Yeah, for Big, it was just such a crawl to get here. I mean, remember how dominant the first half was. And now in 15-11, a real shot to close this one out.
Very patient T-side round here. Big not going yard at all. Tabson can line up a utility if they want to take this site. Door getting naded. Rops alone on the ramp. And BMAS again on A with this one gun. Has to be the hero of this round for Mousesports. Someone's got to be. We're straight to dust too. They're going to crunch the ramp, faking A with a lot of utility coming in from the roof as well. Mousesports, are they ready for this one? It's only Rops. Tabson selling the fake to perfection. Rops knows they're out in the ramp room and he's stalling this shot, but Keto taps him out and Karrigan's coming through a smoke. It's desperation. Mousesports just trying to patch the wound, but Tizian's in the A site, putting in more bullets. BMAS on his own has to be the hero. Once again, we've said his name a lot, but this time it's got to be something. Zentaris is gone. He hears Keto rapping. BMAS holding on with the pre-fire, but Keto is quick, and Karrigan running through the molly to try and keep this map alive. It doesn't look possible.
Yeah, he needed that first kill while the planner was on it. Does tag Searson down to 48. Does find the kill onto Searson. It's Keto v. Karrigan. In this upper site, it's not going to go Karrigan's way. Keto bests him 16-11 on the scoreboard. We see Big pick up this first map of the series, and we see ourselves going to a break. You're watching the Intel Extreme Masters.